Hey guys, welcome back. In this video we are going to talk about an awesome country, a historical country, a wonderful country in the heart of Africa. Today we are going to talk about Ethiopia. After talking to an elderly gentleman from Ethiopia, he educated me, he enlightened me about a few facts about the country called Ethiopia. I was so amazed, I had to do more research on myself to find out more about this country and wondered why I wasn't taught this country when I was young in school in Botswana. Today we're going to talk about an awesome country, a magnificent country called Ethiopia. We're going to talk about 10 things that you didn't know about Ethiopia. One of the first things that you didn't know about Ethiopia is that Africa as a whole was referred to, or was once referred to, as Ethiopia. Ethiopia to the Greeks meant burnt face. Now, with all the vast knowledge, with all the vast education from the Greeks, they didn't know anything about having melanin and having no melanin, and they referred to Africans as Ethiopians, meaning burnt faces. So, am I African or am I Ethiopian? The second thing that you didn't know about Ethiopia is that the Indian Ocean was once referred to as the Ethiopian Ocean. This is because parts of India were also ran or controlled by the Ethiopians in the early days. And that's why there are some places in India, one or two places in India, which are also named after the Ethiopian kings. That's amazing. I didn't even know that. That's why there's also similar face structure, hair structure between the Indians and the Ethiopians. The third thing that you didn't know about Ethiopia is that Ethiopia was one of the only countries in Africa which was never colonized. They defeated the Italians in the 1890s. Why was I never taught about this? As a young African who would have been proud to have learned that one of his fellow brothers and sisters defeated the colonizers. Why was I never taught about this information, which would have made me proud of my other brothers, African brothers and sisters who defeated the colonizers? The fourth thing that you didn't know about Ethiopia is that the oldest human fossils were discovered in Ethiopia. The bone structures of Lucy were discovered in Ethiopia, which dates back more than 3 million years ago. That means that this region of the planet has some of the first people to ever walk this planet, has some of the first people to have a single thought on this planet. That's amazing. The fifth thing that you didn't know about Ethiopia is that Ethiopia is one of the oldest Christian nations in the entire planet. Before Christianity spread to Europe, it existed already in Ethiopia for several hundred years. Ethiopians also have a Bible, Ethiopian Bible, which was never edited by the Roman Empire. One of the books in this Ethiopian Bible is called the Book of Enoch, one of the most enlightening books you can ever read. The sixth thing that you didn't know about Ethiopia is that Ethiopia has its own calendar. Ethiopia is running based on its own calendar. Why are we running after a calendar from the colonizers who are using their own calendar, who are using a colonizer's time, as opposed to following the Ethiopian calendar, which is based on God's time? The seventh thing that you didn't know about Ethiopia is that the Ark of the Covenant is believed to be in Ethiopia. This proves that some of the stories in the closely linked to the Ethiopian history. And one of the other proof that links this history, Ethiopian history, to the Bible is the eighth thing that you didn't know about Ethiopia, which is Moses married a melanated sister from Ethiopia. This further proves that Ethiopia has a rich history in the stories that happened in the Bible. The ninth thing that you don't know or you didn't know about Ethiopia is that Ethiopia has its own alphabet. Just like the Chinese have their own language and alphabet, just like the Russians have their own language and alphabet, just like the Georgians have their own language and alphabet. The Ethiopians have their own language and alphabet that's been there since the beginning of time. The thing that you didn't know about Ethiopia is that Ethiopia was once home to one of the greatest ancient civilizations of the world. This civilization was called the Kingdom of Aksum. It entailed the present-day Ethiopia, Yemen, Eritrea, Sudan, and Saudi Arabia. This is where they first made the first coins in Africa. This was one of the greatest civilizations for its time, around the same time where you had the Roman Empire, the Chinese civilizations. Thank you for taking your time to watch this video. My name is Zawela, and see you in the next